Hello, and welcome to the Thrive Mindset Podcast. I am so glad you are here with me. My name is Carrie Dale, and I am your host. I am an entrepreneur, author, podcaster, manifester, and motivator. And I am on a mission to empower you to create the life of your dreams. If you are looking to up-level your life, relationships, finances, productivity, and success, you have come to the right place. I will share with you tools, resources, strategies, my failures, and my successes that have all helped me achieve the life of my dreams. It is my goal with this podcast to help you see your potential and empower you to create the life of your dreams. So let's get to it. Hi guys, and welcome back to the Thrive Mindset Podcast. I'm Carrie Dale, your host. And today, although I'm not going to be calling this part 2 to last week's podcast about setting goals, it kind of is. So if you haven't listened to it, I suggest you go back and listen to it first, and then come back and listen to this week's. You'll get way more out of it if you do that. Last week, we started with getting clear on how you see yourself at the end of the year and where you want to be. We really spent time solidifying that image and vision in your mind. And while we didn't dig into how you were going to get to the end of the year, we really just focused on what it is you want and being very clear on that so that you could set your intention, so that you could know what it is you want. And this week, we're going to move on to the next step, which is reflecting. Reflecting on your past, reflecting on this past year, and discovering what no longer serves you, as well as what things bring you more joy and excitement. So as I sat down and I started really thinking about how to provide you with an image of what reflection should look like, the only thing that came to mind for me was being a mom. And now I'm super aware that many of you are not moms, or many of you may want to be moms and you're not yet, or you can't be, or maybe you aren't a mom and you have no desire to be. Please just know that I'm aware of that, and I'm not in any way trying to exclude you or use an example that doesn't feel good. And I really do feel that no matter where you are in life, whether you're a mom or not a mom, whether you're a dad, no matter where you are, I think that you'll be able to relate to this story on some level. I think that you'll be able to replace being a mom with being a boss, being an employee, being a friend, and that you can make the baby in this story be your business, be your goal. Just hear me out. I think you'll relate. So when I was a brand new mom, I, like probably most moms, was beyond worried. I was not necessarily worried about hurting the baby, but I was worried about doing everything right. I read every book. I tried to prepare myself in every way possible to have this little guy come home. And I think I read so much that I was overwhelmed with all the things I was, quote, supposed to do. Right? I was supposed to create a sleep schedule. I was supposed to not hold him all the time. I was supposed to let him self-soothe. The list honestly goes on and on of all the things I was supposed to do. Not to mention the fact that we were living in Hawaii at the time, and I had family coming in who'd never been there, who was super excited about their vacation, which they should be. Like, it is their vacation. And here I am coming home from the hospital with this brand new baby. And not only am I supposed to be taking care of him and doing all the things right and getting it right and trying to get sleep, but I also needed to worry about entertaining. And honestly, I don't think anybody put that on me other than myself. I don't think that those that were visiting had any idea that that it was overwhelming to me. I think that they just thought, well, yeah, Carrie wants to show us around. Carrie wants to go to the beach with us. Carrie wants to do all these things. And I really did, but I didn't know how to say no, right? So I went into that first week of motherhood exhausted, not sleeping, not to get like TMI, but I was struggling with nursing him, and he wasn't getting enough food, and all because I was trying to be perfect for everyone else. I was trying to be perfect when it comes to how the book says you should be. I was trying to be perfect. I was trying to be this perfect new mom. And that was so unrealistic. Now let's fast forward. Let's fast forward to when I had my second child. All of that went out the window. I had already been doing it with my older one. I no longer felt the need to be so strict with everything. I absolutely committed to not going anywhere that first week, not doing anything, not entertaining, but just being home and letting my family adjust. I spent the time not worrying if I was holding him too much or if I was coddling or if I was letting him fall asleep on me. I didn't worry about creating a sleep schedule. I just let it happen. A lot of it was I already had the skills down, but really there was so much more joy in that second experience than the first. And don't get me wrong, like I would not give up having either one of those experiences. But if I could go back and I could be gentler with myself and I could focus on the joy of the moments rather than the perfection, oh man, I would do that because that time is so precious and so fleeting and so short that why would anyone not just enjoy it and love it and feel good about life and be able to put out that positive energy and receive it back? Why would I not just sit and rock my baby all day if that's what I wanted to do? Why? It's just a moment. It's just a moment in time. And the reason I am using this example right now is that I can honestly look back and reflect and pinpoint the things that were not serving me and the things I loved. And that's exactly what I'm wanting you to do right now with your life. I want you to go back to this past year and think and reflect on where you're heading this year. What is working? What isn't working? Are there things that you did this last year that maybe were fine? Maybe they were good. Maybe they weren't bad. Maybe they were just okay, but they really aren't serving you in a way to help you move forward this year. What can you stop doing that you do because you think someone else or society thinks you should? But in reality, it really doesn't feel good to you at all. Think about that. I mean, like I said, if I could have just go back to that time and let go of all of those ideals that I thought others had for me or that I thought society had, how much happier and more joyful would that time have been? And what would that have looked like? What would that have changed? For me, I can honestly say that I think it would have just transcended with happiness. And I think that my son would have felt it. I think that those around me would have felt it. And I think that overall there would have just been a much more happiness there and a whole lot less stress. And then what is it that you're doing or you did that you love? What fills your cup and excites you? What do you want to do every moment of every day if you could? Those are the things that you need to be doing. Those are the things that are going to propel you towards your dreams. Not only because you will do them, but because the energy that comes from that joy is going to multiply and draw more of that goodness to you. Remember how I talked about energy being a huge component of manifesting? Well, imagine if you're doing more of what you love and how that like energy is going to draw even more of that to you. So when you're setting your goals and you're setting your intention and you know what it is you want and where you want to end up at the end of this year, really think about that. Think about how you can bring joy to those tasks, how you can bring excitement and happiness to all the things you're doing instead of stress and rigidness. Because this is how you're going to go from dreaming to accomplishing more than you ever thought you could. It is so amazing how when you're doing something that you love, how much easier everything else is, how much more enjoyable it is, and how much more you manifest. I know it probably sounds so cliche, right? Do what you love and life will work out. But dang, is it true? I have watched it in my own life. I've watched it in my husband's life. I've watched it in so many people's lives around me. When you stop doing the things that other people expect and want you to do, or you think they do, and you do what you love, man, the money comes, the time comes, the excitement comes, everything just flows towards you. You know, I love to travel, right? And Jeff loves to travel. And we love getting away when it is cold and gloomy in our home. And we love to go somewhere warm. And years ago, Jeff and I started talking about our love for this and how we both really wanted that to be part of our year every year. Sure, we didn't want to go to the same place every time. We didn't want to get stuck in a rut that way, but rather we wanted to explore new places. And at first, we really didn't know how we could make this work or how we could afford it. But it became something that we both set our intention on. It became a focus of ours. Somewhere around middle of the summer every year, we would start talking and dreaming about the places we could go, the things we could do. And somehow, with this amazing ease, it happened. We seriously jointly manifested this part of our lives that quickly, as you all know, turned into our Triple R retreat. And somehow every year, whether it is a year where we've been really successful or one where things have been more slim, we've always been able to make it work. And it's not been like a sacrifice. It's not been, oh my gosh, we're doing this and how is this going to work? And is this going to hurt us financially? Like that's never even a concern. It's somehow, and I want to say it's magic, but I just know it's us being aligned with our purpose in the universe and us drawing it to us, because no joke. I mean, last year, our trip cost us less than it would have cost us to stay home for the amount of time we were gone. It cost us less. I mean, our flights, our hotel, our food, everything was honestly less than being home. And so it wasn't a burden, and it never is a burden. And honestly, during these trips, so much joy and ideas and inspiration and excitement comes from it, right? It is a time where we really align ourselves with our goals and dreams and the universe. And my point is, when you add more of what brings you joy, more good is going to come your way. And remember, you are doing this work now at the beginning of the year so that you can get the most out of your year, but also so you don't get to the end of this year and not have accomplished anything. Or even worse, just move through the year, move through the days without any purpose, without any goals, and just living this mundane life that when you get to the end, you feel like, what did I do? I mean, sure, you worked hard, you paid your bills, you probably lived a nice life. But so many people get to the end of their lives and just have regret, right? They have things they wish they would have done. They have things that they say, if I had just... So don't be that person. Don't be the person that doesn't make the most of your life today. Don't be the person that doesn't take risks and go after the things that excite you. Instead, be the person who sets intention, who knows where they want to go each year, who accomplishes that and even more, who aligns themselves with everything around them, the energy, the universe, everything, and who lives a life of excitement and doesn't have to excite anybody else but you. Just you. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It only matters if it's right for you. And if you are heading in the direction you want, and if you are manifesting the life of your dreams. So spend your week really working on reflecting and deciding what to get rid of and what to add more of. Because next week, we're going to come back and figure out how to put these pieces all together. Next week, we are going to focus on the hows and really work towards what this year is going to be for you. And above all else, remember, I believe in you, and you can manifest the life of your dreams.